Hello, Crossroads Kids volunteers. How are you today? If you don't know who I am Michaela Credit, and I am the administrator for our Crossroads Children's Department, and I also hang out with the kids on Sunday and work around in those classrooms. What I have you here for today is safety training. We figured it would be easy and wise to make a safety training video so that we have it to access at all times, and that way you don't have to come in and sit through a training session. So with that being said, I am going to get started. I am hoping that this will be a little bit quick. I know it's going to be a lot of information. At the end of the video, along with the link to this video, you are going to get a SurveyMonkey quiz. And we are asking that you take that quiz and you submit it and send it back to us so that we know that you have gone through our safety training, so that all of the kids in Crossroads and the families of Crossroads are safe and feel safe. With that being said, I am going to start. Safety is our number one priority. I know it's a church, so our number one priority should be teaching kids about Jesus, but safety is the only way that we can effectively do that. So our number one priority is safety, making sure that your volunteers are safe, making sure that your kids are safe, making sure that our families here at Crossroads are safe and feel safe at all times. So our number one priority is safety, and we're going to talk about all of the things that lead into safety. So, our first and most important rule is to never be alone with a child. What does this look like? This means that if you have parents that are starting to bring their kids to your classroom and you are the only volunteer that is in there at that time, you have to ask the parents to just wait a minute and bring the kids back in a couple minutes, or maybe go next door and see if they have an extra set of hands and grab a volunteer from that room so that you are not alone. And I don't mean you being alone with one child or you and two children. I mean you never being alone with children. You want to have someone that is not related to you, that is with you, taking care of the children at all times. If you're in the hallways, you should be walking with another volunteer and other kids. If you are in a classroom, you should have another volunteer and other kids at all times, so you are not alone with a child. We don't go to the bathroom alone with a child. We don't go outside alone with a child. We aren't in the classrooms alone with a child. We don't walk to the sanctuary to find a parent alone with the child. Never, never, never should you be alone with a child. If I haven't emphasized that enough, never be alone with a child is our number one safety priority. And to go along with that, our second rule of safety is to know where your kids are. You should know at all times how many kids you are responsible for. And if kids have left a room for one reason or another, they've either gotten picked up by parents early, or maybe they're out to the bathroom, you should know which kids and how many are at the bathroom with a volunteer. This is just so that when we are in a state of emergency, potentially, we know how many kids are in our classroom. Oh, I worked in Kids Church Junior today. I had 5 kids. One of them got picked up halfway through service or wasn't feeling well and had to get picked up early. So then I had 4 kids. You should know their names and you should know where they are at all times. If they're in the bathroom, walking down the hallway, you just need to know where your kids are. So we are never alone with children, and we know where our kids are at all times. You know how many and who they are and where they've gone. So our next set of safety rules are badges and labels. This one sometimes during the weekends slides, and it's something that we need to make sure that we are getting better at. If you are a volunteer, you need to have a Crossroads Kids badge on at all times. If you're doing a special event like Vacation Bible School, you need to have a badge on at all times. This is so that we know that you as an adult have been trained, you as an adult have been certified, you've gone through our application process. We know that with that badge, you have gone through the process to become a volunteer, and our parents can know that you are there and you are someone that they can talk to, someone that they can ask questions to. Also, it's good to have a badge on so that kids know your names. A lot of kids can read, and so it's good for them to see your badge so that they know your name, that we know your name, we know that you belong in that room. That also goes to say with children. All of our kids get checked in, and this is so that we have a code. We know that they were there. We know that they were in class. So our kids come through a check-in process. They should have a sticker that they come in with that has their name on it. That sticker has their name and it will have a code. And so the code that is on their sticker matches the parent's label that they have. So if you as an adult are in a room, you need to have a badge. Kids as coming into the classrooms, they need to have a badge. When it comes time for pickup, we're able to match the kids' badge number with the code that the parents give us so that we know that that adult belongs to that child. We don't always remember faces, and we have a lot of guests often, so you want to make sure that you are matching the code to the badge that the child has on. So that way we know students belong in the room, kids belong, or volunteers belong in the room. When it comes to people walking in the back hallways or in the kids area at East Windsor, you have that carpeted area that has all the colors in the hallways. East Hartford, we have that back area of the building that's in the U. When people are walking in that area during service, it will either be a volunteer, a child, or a security worker. A security worker will have a badge on. They will have a badge that says their name and that they are here to serve. They are a part of a security team. So if you see them, you know that they are able to be in that area for whatever reason. If you see another adult walking around in the kids area, it is okay for you as a volunteer to say, "Hi, how can I help you today?" And if they don't really have a reason, or they say they're just looking out or just checking on things, you say, "Okay, well, I would please ask if you would go to the atrium area, as right now it is a safety hazard for you to be in this space so we can keep our families safe." If there is an issue that comes up with that, you always have a radio and you can radio security to make sure that our families stay safe. So, in a kids area, you have a badge, children have a label. Any other adults that would be in that area will have a badge. That way we know they are safe to come in. Bathrooms. This is a big nugget. We try to ask our kiddos to possibly hold their bathroom breaks if they need it, if it's an emergency. A real good trick is to say, "Oh, okay, so come back to me in 5 minutes if you still have to go potty." Granted, with the littler kids, those classrooms have bathrooms in them, so they are able to go potty, and we don't really expect a 3-year-old to hold their bathroom, but we can expect a first, second, third elementary schooler to hold their bathroom break. So we say 5 minutes, and if you still have to go, come on back to me. With that being said, bathroom procedures. In East Hartford, we have the bathrooms in that back hallway. It's the pink door and the blue door. What you would do is you would go with another volunteer or 2 other students. So you have this child and then you have the 2 other kids that are coming with you. That way you're not standing alone in the hallway with a child as one child is in the bathroom. So if you don't have a spare volunteer, you have another child. You would go, you knock on the door, knock, 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 make sure that there's no adults, there's no children in the bathroom at that time. You prop the door open with the doorpost, you go in to the bathroom. If you're a female, you would go into the boys' bathroom or the female's bathroom. You go into the bathroom and make sure that there is no water on the floor, there's nothing overflowing in the sink. because kids like to stick toilet paper and paper towels in the toilets and in the sinks and leave them running. It's just what they do. You go in so that you make sure there's no slip hazards. You make sure that there's no hiding children. There's no hiding adults. Once you have cleared the bathroom, you go back into the hallway. You let the children go into the bathroom. And then you wait in the hallway for them to come. If they're taking a little bit too long, you knock on the door, say, hey, how's it going in there? And then you have them come out and you get back to class as soon as possible. If you're in East Windsor's hallway, they have bathroom wings. So they have bathrooms in their hallway. Those bathrooms are designated for the children only. So we're not going to go to the atrium for the bathrooms. You have bathrooms. They're single-use stalls, so you would still go in and check, make sure that there's no children hiding in the bathrooms, there's no spills, there's no water. And then you let the child go in. Again, you never go by yourself. You always have another volunteer or 2 other students to come with you so that you are never alone with a student in the hallway or anything like that. That is our bathroom procedure. Let's talk about shoes. Kids like to take their shoes off. I don't know why. Maybe they like the feeling of the carpet on their floor. We ask that our kids keep their shoes on at all times. That is so if we have a fire drill or some sort of emergency and we need to get out of the building or get to another space quickly, they have their shoes on. They are able to move about quickly. If you are participating in some sort of special event like Vacation Bible School, no flip-flops. If you see a student that has flip-flops as they come in, you can ask their parents to please either bring a pair of shoes back, or that child will not be able to participate in certain activities for that day. No flip-flops during special events. And in class, shoes on at all times. Here is another big one. Universal precautions. Everybody is contagious. Now, we know with COVID that this has become something that we're hyper aware of, that if a kid coughs on me, I am likely going to have to deal with the situation, right? We understand that. But what we mean by this is any wound, any bodily fluid, any cut, any throw up, that is considered a contagious fluid. So anything that is happening with a child, if there's an emergency, they get a bloody nose, if they get a cut on their hand, if they sneeze and they have boogers everywhere, if they cough and they have spit coming out, if they throw up, they are contagious. Everybody is contagious. Anybody can get you sick. So what this means is if you are addressing a situation like a bloody nose or a cut or a stomach issue, you put on gloves. First, you use hand sanitizer. If you don't have a sink available, you use hand sanitizer. All of our classrooms have hand sanitizer. Then you put on gloves. Then you would give the child, if they're having a bloody nose, you would give them tissues. They would hold it themselves. If they have a cut, you have gloves on so you can address the wound. If they have throw up, you call somebody else to come and deal with that situation. We do not expect you to deal with things like that. But all bodily fluids are considered contagious. Any kid, any worker could get you sick. That is what we mean by everybody is contagious. You want to make sure that you are using layers of protection to protect yourself, to protect the children. Hand sanitizer, gloves. Once you're done, take the gloves off, throw them in the trash, wash your hands, use hand sanitizer. Again, bodily fluids are contaminants. So if there's blood to the point where it's on the ground, if there's a throw up on the ground, we also need to call in and have someone come in and clean it. So we always have someone that is working on facilities during our weekend services, and they know how to come in and properly clean the area. So you would use your radio that you have in your room, and have someone come and clean it up. First aid kits, now that we're talking about wounds. Every single classroom has a first aid kit. They have a basic first aid kit that has ice packs, that has Band-Aids, that has gauze pads, and then every campus has larger first aid kits that the medical team has. If you have a little boo-boo, a little bump, a little scrape, a little elbow hit, we have ice packs, we have first aid kits, we have Band-Aids that you are able to put on gloves and help the child with using. With that being said, when we have boo-boos, when we have bumps, when we have scrapes, little things, we always write up what is called an incident report. All of our classrooms have incident reports along with their first aid kits. We use these for not only injuries, but also for any accidents, any large behavior issues. You have incident reports that you would fill out and have the classroom main leader sign, and then they get brought and we have our director sign, and we keep those on file just in case anything happens, anybody tries to say anything. We are covered with our incident reports. If it is something that you do not think that you can handle, if it's a bloody nose to the point where you can't handle it, if it's a large scrape, if it's a bump on the head, anytime something happens with the head, we always radio for the medical team, the nurse. That is just because we don't know what is actually happening with that body. And so we want to make sure that someone who is medically trained, is a medical professional, which is not I, and a lot of you is not you. We want them to know that something happened, a head wound has happened, a big bump on the head has happened. So they will also fill out a separate incident report, but we will fill out an incident report. You write what happened, what action you did. So I gave a ice pack for a bump on the elbow, and then the parent's response, and then you have the parent sign, and then the main leader in your classroom will sign it as well. Okay, here is one that tends to sometimes get slipped up. We need to treat every single child as if they are fragile. And what do we mean by fragile? We mean emotionally, mentally, physically, and spiritually. We need to make sure that they are treated as if they are a delicate little flower. And this is because you are their safe place. You are someone that they come to every single week. They get excited to see you. They are happy to see you. And we need to make sure that they are treated with the utmost care and respect and courtesy. So what does this mean? This means that we are positive with our interactions with them. We are not telling kids that they have bad attitudes. We are not making something seem funny, even if it might seem funny to us. Our perspective is different to another perspective. Robbie Jo, she gave a great example at one point. She said, my child was homeschooled. And it's a Christian, we're at a church, we have a lot of homeschoolers. And the teacher said, homeschoolers are weirdos. And that was traumatizing for her child, because her life is, I'm a homeschooler. So now this person that I love and I trust and I get to see every single week thinks that I'm weird because I'm a homeschooler. Situations like this at times can seem like they are unavoidable, but we need to do everything in our power to make sure that these kids know that they are safe and they are cared for emotionally and mentally and spiritually. We're being gentle with our tones with them. We are making sure that not only us as adults are treating them with respect and care, but that they feel safe around with the kids around them. If there's any incidents of bullying or making fun of or poking fun at, you address that immediately. And I'm not saying that with our actions and such that we should not be correcting negative behaviors. If a child is still behaving in a way that they should not be behaving, it's not appropriate in a classroom, you are able to address the negative behavior, but bring it in a tone of love and care, because it is your job as a volunteer, as a kids worker, to not only guide them spiritually, but guide them as this is how you would behave as an adult. They don't know how to behave as an adult because they're kiddos. So it is your job to make sure that you are guiding them in a way that you are not only teaching them how to love Jesus, but you are teaching them how to be active humans in society, and you are caring for them. You're not saying things that might hurt someone's feelings. If you don't like video games, that's fine. You don't have to like video games, but don't say, oh, kids who spend their time playing video games, oh, what a waste of time. They should get outside more so they can get smarter. We don't say things like that. Kids like what they like, and every kid is unique in their own way. And that's what makes them beautiful, and that's what makes them God's children. So we need to treat every single child as if they are God's children. If a kid has a maybe not so great attitude, a way that you can address it is say, can we please change the way that we are speaking in class? Or can we please I understand that you might be a little upset with the situation at hand, but why don't we try and interact with the other kids and be positive about it? There's always a way to say something better, saying it in a positive way. Alrighty, are you guys still with me? We are almost done, I promise you. We're going to quickly talk about allergies. Allergies is huge. It's a really big thing. Lots of kids have allergies. How will you know if a child has an allergy? Well, you'll know if a child has an allergy because a parent has informed us that they have an allergy. When their parent informs us that they have an allergy, we put it into our system, and on their name label, it will say if they have an allergy. So it will say peanuts, it will say gluten, it will say dairy, milk, eggs, soy, whatever their allergy is. You need to know, especially at an event like VBS, if someone in your room has an allergy, because peanut allergies are a huge, huge, huge thing, and you need to know if they have an EpiPen that goes along with that allergy. A lot of times on the weekends, parents don't give us EpiPens, but that's fine, because we are not even giving anything. Do not bring any candies, do not bring any sort of things into the classroom, because we don't want to give a potential reaction or allergic reaction to something. So you should not be bringing any food, any treats, any candy into the classroom. If there are food and treats and snacks that are going to be given out, we as Crossroads will provide them for you, knowing that they are allergy safe foods. When it comes to VBS, do not bring your kids candy. Do not bring them treats. If you would like some sort of reward or incentive, we will give you a reward or incentive. But also be aware of things like latex allergies, nut allergies, and bee stings. If we're at an outside event, we need to know what kids are allergic to bees, and we need to have an EpiPen with us. Or latex. A lot of times we use balloons and we don't think about it. Or the gloves that we have are latex. So we're getting ready to help with a boo-boo, a cut, and we're using latex gloves and the child is allergic to it. So we need to know what kids have allergies and what they are for. Okay, another quick procedure that we're going to go through is fire alarms. If there is a fire alarm, what you need to do is every single room has an orange safety bag. In that orange safety bag, there is a mini first aid kit. There is also a clipboard, and on that clipboard, it has spaces for name tags. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab out your orange safety bag from each classroom. Every classroom has it. If you don't know where it is in your room, you can go ahead and you can ask whoever is your team leader in that classroom for that safety bag. So what you're going to do is you're going to exit out for East Hartford. You're going to be going all the way out to the back parking lot. There's like a shed garage area, and you're going to go all the way back there. You're going to count your kids before you leave the room, make sure that they're in a nice line, and you're going to go all the way back to the back of the parking lot. Once you get to the back of the parking lot, you're going to count your kids again, take attendance again. Make sure no kids have bumps or bruises from the walkover. We know kids, they rush, they get nervous, and they might fall as they're going over. Get there as fast as you can. Do not release your children to parents on the walk. This is a way to create hecticness. It's a way to create a little bit of chaos. It's a way to lose children. You need to, if there is a parent that's coming that would like to pick up their child in the emergency transport line, you need to say, please walk with us, and we will let you have your child when we get over there, just so we can make sure that everybody is safe and accounted for. When you get there, you'll have their name tag, you'll have the parent's pickup label, you'll stick both of them onto your clipboard knowing that the parent picked up the kid and the label matched. That is your goal. Kid matching the label over there. If you are in East Windsor, where you would go for your fire drill, is a fire alarm goes off, you go out the kids' atrium doors. Now there's back atrium doors in the kids' area. You go out those doors and you walk towards the grass area that's towards Walmart. I know it seems weird to walk towards the street, but there's a big hill, and that way you're out of the way of anyone who's coming in. You're out of the way of the parking lot. You go back to the back way of the kids' area. You have those orange safety bags. You have the clipboards. The same procedure happens, but that's the space that you go to. These last couple of things are specific towards a vacation Bible school type event. We're a lot of times outside for those sorts of events, and so we want to make sure that kids have suntan lotion. But also, you are not to apply sunscreen to a child. So a parent comes in and you just want to ask them, hey, have you put sunscreen on your kids today? We're going to be outside a lot. We do not put lotion on a child. We do not put spray on a child. Suntan lotion, we do not do that. If a child brings their own suntan lotion and it's in their bag, another child can spray the suntan lotion on them. But we do not apply sunscreen to children that they have not brought themselves. A lot of kids are allergic to ingredients in sunscreen because sunscreen contains a lot of ingredients that kids are allergic to, create skin irritants. So do not apply sunscreen to a child. If a child has brought sunscreen to reapply to themselves, they can spray it to themselves, and if they need a little assistance, another child can spray the sunscreen on them as well. Also, water, water, water. If we are outside for an event like Vacation Bible School, you need to be making sure that those kids are drinking water. And this can even go for Sunday morning. Sometimes the kids get a little riled up and crazy. If they need a water break, we allow them to go get a sip of water at the water fountain. So water, drinking water when it's hot, drinking water when they're thirsty, drinking water, even if they're not thirsty or hot. Every time you're going to a new station at some sort of Vacation Bible School, you should be getting a cup of water, taking a drink, making sure that the cups go in the garbage. That is another thing. My friends, my volunteers, first of all, thank you so much for being willing to serve the kids of Crossroads. We could not do it without you. And I don't say that to be cliche. I say that because I mean it. We could not serve all of our kids if you were not a part of our team. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, thank you for hanging tight and sitting with me during this training. I know it's a lot of information. This video is available to you, so if you ever feel like you need a refresher, we're going to be sending it out every single year as a refresher. But if you feel like you need a refresher, you can go on back and watch more. And again, do not forget after this video to go onto that SurveyMonkey quiz and fill it out, submit it to us so that we know that you have watched our safety training. It has been a pleasure to have you. Again, thank you so much for serving the kids of Crossroads. Have a great day.